The sanctions imposed on the Russian aviation industry after the 2022 invasion of Ukraine include a ban on the supply of aircraft to Russia, as well as a ban on flights of Russian airlines to countries participating in the sanctions. The sanctions led to the revocation of insurance certificates and required Russian airlines to return aircraft they had leased, a requirement they never fulfilled. Against the backdrop of a shortage of spare parts, incidents with Russian Airlines aircraft have become more frequent. In response to a request from reporters, Boeing said in 2023, in early 2022, the company suspended the provision of parts, maintenance, and technical support to customers and maintenance service providers in Russia. We continue to comply with U.S. sanctions and global laws and regulations. Although the U.S. and some European countries have criminal liability for violating sanctions, they rarely apply it in practice. The U.S. arrested 2 Russians in May 2023 on charges of violating export controls. According to investigators, they organized a chain of intermediaries in the U.S. and Turkey to supply parts to Boeing and Airbus. They face up to 20 years in prison. However, Russia still managed to purchase original spare parts for Boeing and Airbus aircraft worth 18 billion rubles from February 2022 to March 2023. The investigative publication, Important Stories, found out that a total of 150 companies from 26 countries participated in the deliveries. At the same time, the share of intermediaries from the United Arab Emirates alone accounts for purchases worth 9 billion rubles. The top 3 also include companies from China, 5 billion, and Turkey, 2 billion. Spare parts for the aircraft were also purchased in such unfriendly countries as the USA, Great Britain, Germany, the Czech Republic, and Lithuania. Official trade relations with these countries have been reduced to a minimum or terminated. The so-called parallel import scheme guided the delivery process. Russians simultaneously own a large number of supplier companies. However, Russia is also attempting to manufacture its own domestic equivalent parts. By the end of summer 2024, Russia will launch the production of parts for foreign Boeing and Airbus aircraft. This joint project between Rosatom and Aeroflot aims to replace some imported components used in the air conditioning, power supply, and lighting systems of these aircraft. The companies signed the corresponding agreement at the Eastern Economic Forum in September 2023. As noted at the time, this collaboration between the state-owned airline and the state corporation will help ensure the uninterrupted and safe operation of air transportation in Russia. Interestingly, in some areas, the tested components turned out to be significantly more effective than those previously used in Boeing and Airbus aircraft. Specifically, Rosatom specialists adapted water filters designed to prevent the release of radioactive contaminants into the air, and air filters used to protect against radioactive particles and gases originally produced for nuclear power plants. Aircraft can now use these filters for supplying drinking water and air recirculation, respectively. Efforts to substitute consumables and components for foreign-made aircraft, which currently make up a significant 70% of Russia's commercial passenger fleet, have been actively underway since 2022. It is worth noting that replacing original Boeing and Airbus parts with alternatives is common worldwide. The market for alternative parts, PMA, is actively growing in the US, Europe, and especially in Asia. The value of the PMA market increased from $367 million in 2010 to $29 billion in 2017, with projections of reaching $51 billion by 2026. Regulatory agencies, such as the Federal Aviation Administration, are required to certify PMAs. PMA parts are also authorized for specific applications, which are frequently highly specific to the aircraft's make, model, and serial number. In Russia, domestic alternatives are replacing, and in many cases have already replaced, electronic equipment such as inverters, power supplies, sensors, heating, lighting components, water and air filtration elements, as well as composite, metallic, rubber, plastic, and other parts. Experts emphasize that over time, as Russian-made alternatives prove themselves in operation, they may become in demand abroad, for example, in Iran and other countries. However, the primary objective is to use these parts in the manufacturing of domestic aircraft. By 2030, Russia plans to expand its aircraft fleet to 1,700, currently at 1,300, while simultaneously reducing the share of foreign aircraft to around 20%. Now, do you think Russia will be able to sell PMA worldwide without US and European regulators' approvals? Let us know in the comments. Please like and share the videos and subscribe to the channel. Please also take our memberships to encourage us.